Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took inside the Discord, as well as the plan going into tomorrow. So this is what we looked like today. Again, I always start off the videos by going at the 30-minute chart, and this tells us the main trend in the market. So if we go on the call side, 10 is below the 50 SMA. On the calls, that means these are neutral, and then we go to the put side of things, same thing. The 10's below the 50 on the call side, and since neither are crossed, that means the market is considered neutral. There's no trend on either side of the premium. So what do we look for? We just look for a 0DT cross on either side. And what happened today, we ended up getting the call cross. So when we look back in here, a little bit after open, right at like 9:55 was my entry to short, or not short, to long. We got the entry on this candle right here. The cross was happening, 50's crawling up, and we got a nice move out of it. This gave like 50 to 80 points depending on your entry. Really nice move out of there. And then we come down on the 50. You don't buy this 50 dip. So the reason you do that is because there's no trend on the Friday contract, so you do not buy this 50 dip. Yesterday was an exception because of the 30-minute was going negative. Today, we already got that move. It already happened. You don't buy this 50 dip. Neutral market, you don't buy the 50 dip. You wait for the reclaim, and we reclaimed right here, but this 10 SMA is sloped down super hard. I wouldn't have taken that reclaim. I'd want to see it curling a little bit more than that. It was just sloped down too hard for my liking. It looked way better on this candle right here. Once we closed above 11.25, this is a beautiful candle to go long again. And you can see what happened. We just got these small little moves up, and then we finally got a big push right here at 11.50, and that's where I'd be all out of that trade by then. Really big move. We're in a neutral market, so take your points and get out and move on to the next day. So we ended up crossing negative right here. Not a trade I would take. Why? Because literally when we were going negative, if you look here on the put side of things, we were right at the 50 on puts. So right down in this area, that chart was just going negative. So I wouldn't have taken, that negative cross, just because we're, at that point, just wait for the 0-day cross. We got the cross right here, but the 50 was down the entire time, no entry. And also we had Powell for FOMC, or FOMC was right at 2. So, this wasn't even a trade I would have taken. Just because we have a big news event, this chart is pretty much irrelevant at that point. And yeah, that's how you would have read those charts. If we go back here on the call side, we ended up getting this call cross. I'm not sure if Powell was still talking or not. It didn't really seem like he was. There really wasn't anything like making price funky, but we got this 0DT cross right here, played out nicely. Obviously, if he was still talking, this is a way higher risk trade. Wouldn't take it if he was still, yapping on the mic. But I mean, hindsight looks really good. If he wasn't talking, this was a trade 100% you would take. And then obviously, I'm not buying this 50 dip because we are neutral. So, that's pretty much how you would have played today. Again, this is what you want to be doing in a neutral market. Take one trade. I really wouldn't be trading more than, one trade, in my opinion. If you, take a losing trade, just pack it up. If you take a green day, just pack it up, because, the neutral market is not one you want to stick around with. Even though like today it did give some solid points for us being neutral, the neutral market is usually where you take most of your losses. So, it could be a little bit choppier, not as good action, not as big of a move. So, if you just limit the trades you take in a neutral market, you're going to do very well when we do trend. And overall, like over a long period of time, you're just going to do way better, limiting the trades in a neutral market versus, constantly trading them. I see way too many people that take every single trade in a neutral market that the system gives. And personally, I would not be doing that at all, just because there's no like real trend or real edge in the market. You're kind of just trying to get by with little like smaller moves just so you could be green, and then just call it a day, move on to the next, and repeat the process. But the trending market is one that you want to be taking more trades versus the neutral. Neutral, a lot of people have a hard time navigating since it could be a little choppier and we don't get as clean moves. But you just got to be able to limit yourself and not take those trades during a neutral market. Just take one. I really wouldn't take two, but I mean max 2 trades. At that point, if somehow you take both losses, that's when it's time to call it. Action probably wasn't good, but yeah, going into tomorrow, like I said, this 30-minute chart on the puts is crossed down here. Same thing on the call side, we're below the 50. Hopefully we could get this to go and cross on the 30-minute and we flip bullish, but until that happens, the market is neutral. You just got to wait until one of the 30-minute chart crosses. The 10's got to be above the 50, 50's got to be flat or curling up, and that's what signifies a trend. Just like a plain old 0-day cross. So plain simple for tomorrow. If we flip bullish, focus will be on longs, 0DT cross on calls, 50 dip on calls. If we are neutral again, it's very simple. 0DT cross either side, most likely it would be to the downside if we don't crack above this 50, and 0 DT cross on puts, 10 reclaim on puts, and yeah, I mean negative crosses also work on either side if we're still neutral. Very simple plan. If you guys want to learn, join the Discord down below. But that's all I got. Drop a sub if you're new. I'm out. Peace.